It is Victory Monday, Steelers Nation to celebrate. We're going to start the week off with a film room on Justin Fields from the first half yesterday versus the Denver Broncos. Definitely some encouraging flashes, not just from him, but also just the offense in general with their ability to move the ball early on. So just before we get started, please make sure that you like, subscribe, drop me a comment. Just an easy way to support the channel, which helps me bring even more content to you guys. And then also, if you want even more, exclusive film room content from me, you can become a member to the channel, get special perks for less than a price of a small coffee. I'm going to be cutting up some clips just to show you all what in the world happened to the offense in the second half of that game yesterday. But without further ado, let's get it going. Very next play for the Steelers here. They're going to come out empty, 5 wide. Really like this from Fields. So you can see the hand motion there before the snaps. Denver showing pressure. So we talked about this in the pregame too. Denver, Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator, always a high pressure guy. So he's doing an indicator pre-snap to get the line to do a full slide to the left. He is going to be hot on this play because they don't have enough blockers for how many defenders that Denver could potentially bring. You can see at the bottom of the screen here, we'll kind of rewind this back. They're working a shock concept. So all shock is hitch, seam or fade, and then a stick route from the number 3 at the bottom of the screen. At the top, really where you normally want to go against like a cover 0 look or any favorable matchup is the number 2 at the top of the screen, which is Pickens. He's going to have a little option route. Now he does run a really nice route here and break Surtain off and do a good job, trying to cross his face toward the middle of the field. But Justin just, elects to kind of use his legs. And I was kind of nervous when I was watching this live because I wasn't sure if he 100% really understood that he was hot. But you can definitely tell just by his drop that he does understand here that, he's not blocked up on this side. So anytime you're doing a full slide in one direction, the quarterback is going to be responsible for the edge defender in the opposite direction. So right here, you can kind of see by his drop. I think this is, definitely shows a good understanding. You can see like kind of the hand motion right there for the full slide to the left. You can see him kind of dovetail in his drop to kind of allow him a little bit more time. Now, would I love to see him kind of float this ball, even off his back foot? Would I love to see him float this ball right there to George Pickens, and then who knows how many yards after the catch he gets? Yeah, absolutely. But just having watched Justin for a significant amount of time, I also know that, these type of foot race situations usually tend to end up in good plays here. So it's an explosive run, probably would have been an even more explosive pass play, but this is what he's just a little bit more comfortable doing right now. Really like his next play call from Arthur Smith. Just from a play sequencing standpoint, they just broke off a really nice 10, 11-yard run with Jaylen Warren on mid-zone to the right side. So they kind of play off of that a little bit, get Justin outside the pocket, move the launch point for a nice bootleg in that direction. And really like the throw here just from a touch standpoint. You can kind of see this from the end zone angle. It's a beautiful throw. But you can kind of see, too, just playing into some of the things that Justin does really well, getting him outside of the pocket and taking advantage of his athleticism. But this is a really nice throw, like moving to his left. You can kind of see this slowed down. I mean, that's a perfect ball right in stride and a really nice catch from Freiermuth, who nice toe tap and grab right there for a big play. All right, we got 3rd and goal here. Again, Denver electing to play man coverage on the back end. Really nice job from Fields. This is a perfect throw. I mean, just the ball location thrown away from the leverage of the defender. This is also good pre-snap identification. So Darnell Washington hasn't been used much in the red zone in Pittsburgh, but he's 6'7". The guy guarding him is 5'10". It's a pretty big height advantage, and just from a size advantage too. PJ Locke's a guy that weighs in, I think, a little bit over 200 pounds. I'm like 90% sure that Washington is at least 285, probably heavier than that at this point, especially given all the blocking assignments that the Steelers are giving him and just what he looks like physically. But this is a fantastic throw from Fields. All they're running is just two-man stick. It's a mirrored concept. You don't see the back shoulder fade throw often. A lot of people talk about it's the worst throw in football just because of the percentages of it converting. But when you got, almost a foot of a height difference out on the outside, and you can just see the ball location. I mean, when you throw the ball like this in a perfect spot where only your guy can get it, that's good quarterbacking right there. It's an excellent throw, and I'm really happy for Darnell getting his first touchdown as a Steeler. Next play here after the touchdown, the Steelers are going to be trying to work a play-action crossing route to George Pickens at the bottom of the screen. You can see the effect of the play-action fake here on the second-level defenders and even the safety at the bottom of the screen. If there's one thing that's really been a little bit surprising about like how Justin has played so far during his time in Pittsburgh, I think it's just been he's definitely trying to reduce the amount of negative plays that he's taking. So during his time in Chicago, sacks, turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, those things were, things that I think consistently kind of held them back as an offense and held him back from reaching his potential. But it's clear the coaching staff has really been, I think, from what it looks like on film, pretty adamant about him getting the ball out of his hands quickly. So if he hung in there a little bit longer, could he try to hit this high cross to Pickens? Yeah, potentially. But getting the ball, he's just getting the ball down to his check downs a lot quicker this year in the first two games. Granted, it's a small sample size than he ever was in Chicago, and that allows some of these guys to, maximize their yards after their catch, getting guys like Jalen Warren the ball quickly in the flat. All right, so the Steelers backed up here, 3rd and 11 after a false start penalty on Broderick Jones. 3-by-1 formation. We talked about in the pregame show about just how much man coverage the Broncos ran last week against the Seahawks, almost 70%. And when you got a guy like number 2 at the bottom of the screen, obviously you understand that that's why they probably feel pretty comfortable in these situations. But the Steelers got to do too. Number 14 at the bottom of the screen here, George Pickens. Nasty route on the blaze out. This is just an excellent job, selling vertical and getting the cornerback on his heels and then breaking towards the sideline. Really nice throw from Justin. There's a little bit of pressure in his face. He takes a little bit of bump at the end of this play, but 3rd and long situations, especially for this offense, without a ton of playmaking talent on the perimeter. I thought that was a significant theme as you got deeper and deeper into this game, was just the lack of winners we had on the outside. But anytime there's man coverage, 14 probably needs to be the primary read. So a really good job by Justin, a really good throw for a huge first down. All right, 2nd and 18 here behind the sticks due to yet another penalty. This one's a bummer, man. 2nd and 18, backed up, 2-by-2 formation. Big play scramble drill. We get an explosive pass. 51 yards called back due to a penalty. Just have to show this play, not because I want to talk about the penalty or turn this into an offensive line related video, but we just got to talk about how special the throw is. This is an absolutely ridiculous throw. It's been a long time since I've seen a throw made like this from a quarterback in the black and gold. And you can say what you want about Fields and some of the flaws in his game, some of which I don't know if they're going to be able to be overcome, but this is really what he does and like where he's at his best, extending plays, getting outside the pocket, throwing on the move. I've said it multiple times just throughout the offseason. He's a really gifted deep ball thrower. I mean, in terms of accuracy, touch, the arm, just a lot of different clubs in his bag, man. And this is, I think right here he's actually looking to try to throw this kind of deep hook to Freiermuth with a little bit of anticipation. He doesn't like it. Again, it's not something he's necessarily comfortable with in between the numbers right now. Extends the play. I mean, to throw this ball on the move, and you can just kind of look at the ball location and the accuracy here to drive this almost on a line. I mean, this ball basically teleports into Pickens' hands. I mean, it's a huge play, and it's really a bummer that this thing got called back. And, the offensive linemen, they're going to have to get used to this style of play. I mean, both Fields and, if we see Russ, when we see Russ, whatever, they're going to play like this. They're going to try to extend the play outside the pocket. Offensive tackle is going to have to get used to knowing that, hey, we got to let go right here. We can call this ticky-tack, whatever you want. But this guy right here that Jones is blocking, he's not outrunning Fields. Like, it's okay. You can let that guy go. But just a phenomenal throw, even though it didn't count. Has to make the video for that purpose. Things kind of fell apart for them in the second half, especially on 3rd down. Part of it was because they kept getting themselves backed up into less than advantageous situations. But Fields made some really nice throws on 3rd down in the first half, picking up several of these, with his arm. Pretty self-explanatory and simple concept right here. Just getting kind of 2 outbreakers at the top of the screen. Again, we're getting off-man coverage right here. It's a really good job by Fields just getting the ball out on time, just with the slightest bit of anticipation here. But just, again, the quick game aspect, that was something that I wanted to see improve, especially after last week in Atlanta. I broke that entire performance down in the members-only section. So if you guys want to see that, you can. But, again, just in the quick game aspect, getting the ball out, one step, no hitch, drive the ball, and then a good ball location on the outside away from the defender's leverage and enough room for Calvin Austin to get 2 feet in. So really nice conversion there on 3rd and 4. Right here, another 2-by-2 formation. This is like 40 seconds left before the half is over. Fields wants to take a shot, one-on-one. Got the player in the post. You got the one-on-ones on the outside. get a defensive pass interference right here. Actually, I want to give credit to Van Jefferson because I've been pretty hard on him, but this was one of the few reps that I felt like the receivers, other than 14, kind of won in these man coverage situations on the day. But a really nice release here, kind of gives him a little stutter step, and then gets him stacked on the boundary. The corner is kind of playing catch up, trying to get back in phase, ends up grabbing his arm to the point where he can only get one hand on the ball. But you can kind of see from the end zone angle right here, Justin kind of, predetermines, okay, I got a player in the post. I've got one-on-one on the outside. You can see him identify that safety, kind of looks left to throw to his right. But you can see the ball location, right? I mean, if he's able to get his second hand up, the defender's not grabbing at that thing, this ball is another one that's on the money from a deep ball perspective. So he didn't have the 20-plus yard completion yesterday, but he could have had several if it not for penalties and just unfortunate situations like that. So one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video in particular, and I'm not going to do every single play from his vantage point this week because I did that last week, but I wanted to show this just because I feel like the numbers, you look at the box score and things like that, and the numbers aren't necessarily gaudy or anything like that, but I feel like for the first 2 weeks, he's had some huge plays that probably should have been big plays in the box score that haven't necessarily shown up. And I feel like, some of the box score watchers aren't going to catch this type of stuff. But this is good quarterbacking. I mean, that's a really good throw, man. But nonetheless, it gets them inside the red zone right before the half. And then really just to cap off, a really unfortunate first half for Fields, just from a luck perspective. Gets a touchdown call back. We get an offensive pass interference penalty at the top of the screen. I really like the idea from Arthur Smith just because of how much man coverage, how much single coverage they were seeing. Try to get Pickens a free release down here. Try to get him away from Surtain a little bit for an easy catch. You can kind of see what they're trying to do here. This is kind of just like a follow release out of the stack. So Van Jefferson's really only job here is to just try to clear things out for Pickens underneath. Unfortunately, he doesn't do a great job at selling this. I also think that this could probably go uncalled. You guys can be the judge on this. It really just, to me, just really unfortunate because, the stat line should have looked a lot better at the end of the first half. Now, again, as we talked about, things didn't go as well for the offense in particular in the second half, but I really wanted to make this video just because, I wanted to give him some props for how he played in the first half. Definitely did some good things in terms of getting the ball out on time, the accuracy underneath, but also the accuracy on the deep balls. Could have had several huge plays in this one, but just a bummer. So that does it for this video. Just wanted to get on here real quick, highlight some quick hitters that I like from Justin in that first half. For the sickos or any one of you guys that are brave enough to watch the second half of that game again, I will be breaking down the different layers to kind of what went wrong from an offensive perspective in the second half of this game. So if that's something you're interested in, it'll be available on the members only side sometime in the coming hours. I'm looking forward to it. Kind of a lot of venting, a lot of rambling, but as always, I really appreciate the support for the channel. Thank you guys so much. Please don't forget, if you need your Steelers gear for the season, be sure to check out our channel sponsor Homage, who just dropped some sweet t-shirt designs that I'm definitely a big fan of. The link for that will be in the description. I'm also going to try to do a film room on Troy Fautanu's season debut. I thought he looked pretty solid. Going to try to get to that as long as I can carve out some time here in the next day or so, but I will check you guys here soon. Peace and love.